Hi guys, Muns here. On today's episode of Ball with Muns, I'm going to be going through Game Week 1 reviews and I'm going to be having a look at a couple of my predictions and see which I got wrong and which I got right. So, going forward, what I'm going to do is this Premier League season, I'm going to be looking at maybe 2 or 3 games that I'm going to watch. I'm going to watch the whole games and I'm going to come on here and give you a quick review on the games. So, the first game I'm going to give you a review on is, in my opinion, the game of the weekend. In terms of capacity of the clubs, it's going to be Man United and Arsenal. So, as I predicted, Arsenal won. However, I felt Man United played really, really well. This is one of the best games I've seen Man United play in a very long time in terms of their complete package, in terms of creating chances. But obviously, we just couldn't score. However, there is a lot of positive takes from this game, in my opinion, for Man United. I felt Arsenal were very pragmatic in this game, which I do not blame Arteta at all whatsoever. Simply because we have seen in the last couple throughout the history of the Premier League that managers, especially if you're going to play big teams, if you're going to play big team in their away ground, what normally happens is you do go with a pragmatic approach, in my opinion. So I have no issue at all with Arteta going with a pragmatic approach in this game. In this game, it obviously worked because they ended up winning the game 1-0. And I saw a quick stat there on Monday Night Football that Arsenal haven't lost a game against the so-called Big Six. Sorry, Arsenal haven't lost a game in the so-called against the so-called Big Six in the last 20 games they've played. So that's very good for Arteta because that shows the compactness and that also shows the solidarity that Arteta has brought with the Arsenal team, and they actually have a spine now. They have a backbone. Whereas a couple of years ago, Arsenal go to an away ground, they always get beaten. So Arteta has done a great job in that respect. However, like I said, I've said plenty of times, I do feel like for the money Arteta has spent, he has improved Arsenal. However, I think this season he needs to win a trophy. He needs to win a big trophy. We're not talking about the FA Cup or the Curling Cup or sorry, the Carabao Cup. You have to win either the Champions League or the Premier League this season, in my opinion, for Arteta. And also with Gokaresh, I'm a big fan of Gokaresh. I know everyone getting off their jokes now, but you're better off getting your jokes now off early, simply because once Gokaresh starts scoring, he's not going to stop scoring, in my opinion. He obviously missed pre-season, a good chunk of pre-season, so I think he gradually will get into the season as the season progresses, in my opinion. Just to talk about a couple of things in terms of United. I honestly was very impressed with Cunha. Cunha, in my opinion, was a player of the game, in my opinion, man of the match, in my opinion. Cunha was fantastic on the day. I haven't seen someone do that solo run he did at Old Trafford in a very long time. That was a brilliant solo run, and he nearly scored. I think this season, hopefully, he doesn't get injured for a long period of time. And I feel whenever he's in the team now, I have a little bit more belief that United will create more chances. And Mbeumo was brilliant as well, getting isolated on the right wing, going 1-on-1 against your man. And also, I believe I'm actually starting right wing back behind Mbeumo, simply because his final product is much better than Dalot. Dalot simply cannot cross the ball, and I'm so sick of Dalot every single season. Get to the byline, get a good chance, and he just can't find a man in the box, which is absolutely scandalous. My guy Big Benjamin came on. However, he didn't look up to standard yet, simply because I believe games like that is very hard to come into and make an impact in the last 20 minutes, especially if you're a big striker. Man United were crossing the ball into the box for the first 50, 60 minutes of the game. As soon as we got a big striker into the game, they stopped crossing the ball, which is very strange. Like I said, Cunha, Mbeumo, and Bruno need to start spamming crosses into the box for Sesko as soon as Sesko starts starting games, because I believe that's how he's going to get most of his goals. He has good instinct in the box, and I believe going forward, if we spam crosses into the box, we will get plenty of goals, in my opinion. I was also very impressed by Casemiro and De Ligt. Casemiro, especially in the first, let's say, 60 minutes, first 55, Casemiro was fantastic, winning balls back. There was a time in the first half he won a ball back off Odegaard or Rice, and he sprayed out to Mbeumo, and Mbeumo was isolated against the fullback. It was fantastic to watch, and Mbeumo nearly got a goal from it. De Ligt was fantastic on the day, absolute pocket Gokaresh. Gokaresh had I don't think Gokaresh didn't have a shot on target at all in this game. And also, word on the Man United keeper. I hate to be hard on players, but in my opinion, you just have to be stronger in that situation where Arsenal scored from. Like, the ball came, like I saw Gary Neville yesterday on Monday Night Football saying, why didn't you just go with the fist and punch the ball out? instead of flapping at the ball. If you punch the ball out, if you make a face and punch the ball out, you're going to get better distance on it, in my opinion. And also with Amorim, I'm not the biggest fan of Amorim. However, I love Man United. I want to see Man United do well. So you will I'll get behind the manager. I support the manager. For the next couple of months, I will give the manager my full backing. However, in this start producing result, because they have backed him heavily in this transfer window. Jury's still out with Amorim, in my opinion. He hasn't won a back-to-back game. I think the next game we have is against Fulham. So we need to see how we perform. We just see how we perform in that. We just don't need a performance in that. We need a win in that game. We can't start the season with 2 losses in a row. Amorim needs to get a win in that game, and I believe he will have the players ready for the game against Fulham for a game with 2. So the second game I'm going to go on to is that I watched this weekend was Liverpool and Bournemouth. That was for me the best game of this week. This game week 1. It was a very exciting game. Liverpool looked fantastic. They were very fluid. The front 3, front 4 were very fluid, interchanging. And Etiquette is a baller. Etiquette is an absolute baller. Like, he's just everything about him. He actually, I think Etiquette has that aura as well. And Salah didn't have the best game, but you know what Salah does. Salah, he might have a poor game, but Salah will end up getting a goal or assist, and they got a goal towards the end. And it was great to see him doing the Jota celebration. But I believe for Liverpool, it's going to be a very long season for their fans if Liverpool can't defend, because Van Dijk and Konate were all over the shop in that game. I can't believe how poor defensively they were when I was watching, especially in the second half. They just gave away, the way Liverpool play, they push everyone up front. It's exciting to watch as a fan, as a neutral as well. It was a very exciting game to watch. If you're a fan, you love it, but at the same time, if you're a Liverpool fan, you also hate it because the amount of goal you're going to concede this year if you don't tighten up. That's why I think they're going to finish third unless they get a centre half. They can play alongside Van Dijk, because I don't believe Konate is good enough to play alongside, and is also injury prone. I think his head is in Madrid already, in my opinion. I talked about Etiquette already. I believe for me he was fantastic. He was brilliant on the day. He's just so fluid. He's so elegant to the ball for a tall player. He looks very smooth on the ball when he's going forward. His passes, his touch, his link-up play, everything about him, Etiquette, is really, really good to watch. I really enjoyed watching him on Friday night. And what I would say about Liverpool also is, like I've talked about their defending. Defending was very, very poor. It's going to be a long season for Liverpool fans if they keep defending like this. And I believe they will concede a lot of goals. And you cannot be champions conceding that many goals unless they tighten up on the back, in my opinion. So the next game and the final game I'm going to go through is the one I watched this weekend is Man City versus Wolves. Man City looked the best team this game week 1, in my opinion. Haaland looked absolutely fantastic. Haaland looks very sharp. It looks like he's ready for the season. It looks like he's ready to make up for last season for him being injured for most of the year. My preseason prediction was Haaland's going to win Player of the Year. He's going to be top goal scorer, and he looked sharp. Haaland looked very sharp, and I was very impressed. I know he missed a couple of early chances, but he ended up scoring 2 anyways. And if he stayed on longer, I believe we would have got a hat trick. But obviously Pep took him off. With Wolves are absolutely hopeless. I think I had him 17th or 16th. That could change simply because I believe what I saw from Leeds on Monday night was a lot better than I expected Leeds to be. So Wolves might be the other team to go down this year, along with Burnley and maybe along with Burnley and Brentford. So Rangers actually look fantastic as well. I wasn't his biggest fan when I saw him play a couple of times at AC Milan. I felt he lacked the physicality to handle the Premier League, but I was so wrong. He looked fantastic after game week 1. I know it's only after game week 1, but he looked absolutely brilliant, and I was very, very impressed. When I saw the Man City starting 11 at first, it was very underwhelming. It looked like a very ordinary team, but then you see them play, they were so good, and John Stones was amazing. John Stones is back being John Stones that the year they won the treble, and the year before that, he was so good. I think Man City need him to stay fit, and Ruben Diaz, and obviously when Gabriel comes back as well, they're going to have a really, really solid spine, and obviously Rodri is going to come back in there as well. And someone I was also very impressed with was Oscar Bob. I like his directness. I like his decisiveness in the final third. Oscar Bob decisiveness in the final third is very, very good to watch. So I thoroughly enjoyed that game as well. So that's my review for game week one. Game week one, like I said, I'm going to come on here every week after game week. I'm going to do 2 or 3 games that I've watched over the weekend and just talk about them in small details. And if you make it to the end of the video, I do appreciate your support, and make sure to click on the subscribe button on the channel. Thank you very much.